Welcome back, everybody, to the Business Resource Zone, your source of content for buying, selling, and scaling a business. I'm your host, John Vitale. Today, we're going to talk about 5 reasons to consider a 1031 exchange. With me today is Greg Schowe, longtime friend of mine, and a subject matter expert on everything 1031s, and a longtime realtor. Thank you for showing up, Greg.
You're quite welcome. Thanks, John.
Let's start by telling the folks maybe didn't see the other 2 videos we did together. Let's give them a little example of who you are and what you represent.
Sure. My name is Greg Schowe. I'm a licensed real estate agent, been since 2003. I've also been involved as a division manager for a qualified intermediary that handles 1031 exchanges throughout the Midwest and the nation since 2004.
Nice. Well, let's dive into some of these reasons here. Maybe give some examples if you have some for each of them.
Absolutely. When I go out and talk to clients, really what it comes down to is we kind of the top 5. There's more reasons, but there's 5 real main reasons when we talk to clients about how to uncover what their motivation is. Everybody's different. They have different criteria, they have different motives, they have different planning things. The first one we talk about a lot is preservation of equity. If you go back to the 1031 concept and you look at it, it actually gives the ability to defer up to 100%. So if somebody has a property that's on free and clear, they don't want to pay the capital gain tax. They actually can take that preservation of equity and go into something that may be a better fit for them, and make a better asset class. Maybe, for example, a piece of ground that's unproductive or maybe not really producing like it should be, and they 1031 exchange that into, let's say, an office building or a retail building that has some stabilized return. So they can actually take that preservation of the equity, instead of paying the taxes, they can go have a bigger purchase power with that concept. So that's the preservation of equity side of it.
Interesting.
Yeah, the second one is a lot of times clients, they'll have, for example, a property that's free and clear, and maybe they want to expand their real estate portfolio. So what they do is they take the proceeds from the sale of the property and they 1031 exchange, and they use those proceeds to make a down payment on a very larger piece of property. So they go in with a 20%, 25% down payment. That gives them the ability to go out and find something and scale real quick into a new asset or an asset class that's going to give them better returns, more deductions, things like that, interest deductions, depreciation. That's the leverage side. That's the second model that we kind of look at as for one of the reasons. The third one, this is actually kind of neat because we're here in St. Louis. In the St. Louis market, there's other markets in the country that are performing better than St. Louis. There are markets in the country that aren't performing better than St. Louis. So the third reason that we talk to clients about is diversification. So what they want to do is they want to sell one asset. Let's say they own a property here in St. Louis, and they want to go buy something in Colorado. They want to go buy a property in Florida. They want to go buy something in New York. They can go do that. They can diversify. If they have one asset, they can diversify that and go out and find multiple properties and kind of spread out their risk, so to speak, with different types of asset classes. That's the third reason, diversification. The fourth one, this is kind of a neat concept, management relief. I used to be a real estate investor myself. Management relief basically comes down to 3 things: toilets, tenants, and trash, right? You're chasing one of those 3 or all the 3s at any given time. There's a way for them to go into something that may, for example, a multifamily building. Maybe they go into a triple net lease kind of product, or maybe they go into this thing they call a DST, or Delaware Statutory Trust. So there's other ways to kind of take that management relief and throw that out of the equation, and that way they can go kind of live their life the way they want to, go on vacations, go visit the grandkids. That's the fourth one, the management relief. And the last one, I know you and I have talked about this. There's a lot of baby boomers out there that are sitting on a lot of wealth when it comes to real estate. So what we find is, and what we do is we work with not only the clients, but we work with their siblings and their beneficiaries. So let's say, for example, a client owns one asset, one whole main asset, and that's kind of majority of the real estate portfolio. Well, when that owner passes away, there's a transfer to the next generation of the beneficiary. Let's say there's 2 or 3 siblings and they don't agree on who wants to do with that property. So what we do is we set it up to where they actually exchange the property prior to that owner passing away, and they'll go out and they'll buy a property for one beneficiary, and they'll go out and buy a property for another one. So they actually 1031 exchange into properties that suits the needs of each one of the beneficiaries. I've been in numerous table topic discussions and at kitchen tables where the family really, the dynamics really change when the asset shows up and the cash is there. So a lot of times that happens. So what we try to do is we try to plan, right? We try to plan for them to make sure that everybody is on the same page and make sure that they can take and be effective and not have the, you know, the uncomfortable conversations at Christmas when,
Yes.
you know, the first Christmas after mom and dad or whoever passes away, and, you know, that we don't want to have those, create those, you know, uncomfortable conversations. So those are the 5 things. The first one, preservation of equity. The second one is leverage. The third one is diversification. The fourth one is management relief. And the fifth one is estate planning. Those are kind of the top 5 that I see when I work with clients who wants to buy or sell and do a 1031 exchange.
No, that is a lot of information. I'm
It is.
sure people are going to have lots of questions for you, Greg. How do they get a hold of you?
Absolutely. Social media, LinkedIn, Facebook. My cell phone is area code 314-369-8766. Call or text. Let me know how I can help.
Excellent. Please subscribe and follow. You won't want to miss additional episodes that we have with Greg and many other subject matter experts in the field. Thank you again, Greg, for your time today and your expertise. Really
You're welcome.
appreciate it.